Hello there, good afternoon everybody, hope you're all okay this afternoon. Welcome to everyone on Facebook, Jean, Sam Swithers, Maggie, who else have we got, Yvonne, hello, I said hello Brian in Ohio, and Amanda if you're still there, post a comment, nice to hear from you. Ruby, Coco, afternoon. It's raining so Bobbin's not even out in the garden at the moment, so Debbie C is multitasking and working today. Multitasking and watching today on YouTube. Hi Amanda, hi Margaret. On the website we have Helen. So we are live on the website and on Facebook and on YouTube all at the same time. Hello Sally in Cape Cod. Dawn, hello to you too. Hi Debbie O. And Jan Proctor and right, yes, we're all okay, thank you Gina. Liz Deleuze, what a fantastic name. Right, as usual on a Wednesday, we've only got a few new bits and bobs to show you on the website. She'll have more in by Saturday, I'm hoping. Hi Deborah, hi Janice from Virginia, and Mia Maria in Finland, hello to you too. Susan's in Brisbane in Australia, hi Olivan. And Bonnie, and apologies if I'm missing anybody, but I'll try and read as many of your messages as I can. So anyway, I'm going to make a bag in a bit, because literally just this minute before we came to air, these bamboo handles came in. I'll show you those in just a sec. So Kim's in the office right now putting these onto the website as we speak. Aren't they gorgeous? And to be honest, all I thought was, right, that goes with it, that goes with it, that goes with it. I'll make a bag. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet, so you'll have to bear with me while I put some thought into that one. But we'll make a bag with a pair of bamboo handles. But I've got some new hardware to show you and the new colour option of the Japanese knot bag. I know. Oh no, Jan. Oh, we'll do all we can to cheer you up. I'm so sorry. Hi Laura Beth in Memphis, and very wet in Scotland. Do you know it was howdy Kathy in Utah, and Diana in Edinburgh. Yeah, we were sat outside in the sunshine for 5 minutes. Been covering a bucket chair this morning for something that's coming up later on in the year, and it was sunny, and then all of a sudden thunder and downpour. It's crazy. And it looks quite sunny but very wet out there at the moment. Catherine's in Illinois, and Millie's mushroom. Fiona in sunny Scotland. Hello to you all. Thank you Amanda, I'm glad you like Kim's video as well. Right, anybody else on the website? The website doesn't scroll through comments very well, so sorry if I miss anybody there. Hi Kaz, sunny and warm in Edinburgh. I hope it's not heading your way, we just got absolutely drenched. Oh, Jan. Right, beautiful day in Paxos, says Mary Buckley. Oh, good, I'm glad your parcels are... hi Mary. The post office is still saying 2 weeks delivery for parcels, by the way, but it seems that they are delivering quite quickly, which is good, isn't it? Amanda's finishing a Japanese knot bag. This is it, look. I have to say, I've been quite taken aback by how popular this has been, and it's a loose thread on there. So we do have some more, well, one more colour option for you as well. I think it's the handle. A lot of you have made Japanese knot bags before, and the handles can be very fiddly because there's a lot of kind of, Deborah, that wasn't very neat at all. We can't have that. Normally with the Japanese knot bag you have to leave part of the handle at the top open and then turn it through and then hand sew around the top of it. It can be very fiddly. So I've invented an ingenious, I've heard it called, way of making the top of the bag much simpler, and it's based actually on I was making up a waistcoat a couple of years ago. And when it came to making the Japanese knot bag, I thought, well, why don't we just make it in the same way that you'd make and line a waistcoat? It's a lot easier than what we do normally. So that's it. This is the colour option that's on the video. So there is an instructional video on how to make this up. It's actually on YouTube. There's a link on the website. I made it for the website and I told everybody it's going to be on the website, but it's too big. Couldn't upload it. But there's a link on the website when you go to the pattern or any of the kits. and it takes you through to a video on how to actually make it. This is the new colour option, which is the floral lilac. You get more fabric in this one than the others, actually, because it's a bit wider, which means that with this one, this is explained in the video as well. Oh, I'm knocking things about. I want to show you those. You can put more pleats in it. So in the pattern and instructions, there's a pleat at the front, but this one's a little bit bigger, so you can make it bigger. You've got plenty of fabric left over to make a matching purse as well. So we do have the kits available. The fabric on its own isn't, but if you wanted to go for the complete kit, there is the floral fabric and the plain fabric, and it's reversible. But to be honest with this one, I don't know if you would, because I just like the floral side to it, but it is reversible if you wanted it to be. And you'll get your H630, which is your wadding, in the kit as well, and your instructions and your pattern. So everything that you need to make it. I'm expecting we're going to sell out. I've only got a couple of hundred of them, but it's been going so quickly. It's literally just gone on the website, and I think it's going to sell out any second, literally that quickly. But we will be getting more in hopefully next week. So watch this space. Might even do some of the colour options in it. Oh no. Right, before I knock all these bits and bobs all over the floor, which it looks like I have already. Yeah, sorry. So you get more than I'm going to show you. We've got some new hardware in again. There's a hole in the bottom. Is there a hole in the bottom? I didn't sew it up. Oh, Alana, fancy you spotting that. I started sewing that by hand on the video, and I never finished it because I was in a rush to get the video done. Caught. Oops. A smocked top, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? A smocked top. Let me show you this hardware anyway, because this is brand new as well. So we have bag feet, but look, they're gold. Anonymous Amy, I shall be back to you again in a second. So 4 bag feet. Don't know about the prices. Kim's just putting those on at the moment. And then also to match. And they're metal as well, they're really nice quality. There are 2 of the swivel snaps and 2 sliders together. I think there's some D-rings coming at some point as well. But aren't they rather posh? We had a posh day last Wednesday, didn't we? Hi, Jules! So that's those ones. And then you will get 4 of these. Remember the rainbow ones we did? Look, we've got rainbow bag feet. I know. I think we've still got some of the rainbow clasps and D-rings and all that kind of stuff. But this is just a packet. You do get 4 of them. I've just been knocking them on the floor. Janet, I don't remember saying I was going to make a Christmas wine bottle bag with a flowery top. Did I say that? I don't remember saying that. But it's a good idea. Hi, Kathy in Sweden. Hi, Sandra. Oh, now back in stock are the silver sliders. So there's 4 of those, but brand new again. Look, whoops. Ooh. Shiny, shiny gold ones. Very bling, very shiny. These are all 1 inch in size, so those are brand new. And then over here, matte black, elegance personified. They're gorgeous. Right, that's all I'm going to show you new wise, so have a look on the website under new, and you'll see all of these and any new fabrics that we've got there coming in as well. Okie doke, Carol, I shall see you again soon. Hi Kathleen, good day all. From Northern California, sound is rather low. It's got a long way to go though, hasn't it? 1, 2, 3, it sounds almost up to its limit here, so I can't really, I can try turning it up a little bit, but I may deafen you somewhat. Is that any better? Oh no, that's gone into red. Is that any better? I've turned the volume up a little bit. Deirdre, I don't know what's going on with this move. Probably won't be till July. It's just that people are so slow. I chased and chased the solicitors until they eventually got back to me yesterday, just saying, well, we're really busy. So why did you take it on then if you can't? Anyway, hello, Patty in Alabama. Hi, Megan. Hi, Mary. I know, Linda. I just think I like having stashes of hardware in different colours because, you know, something like for making a bag out of the cork, for instance, it's got gold flecks in it, and I tend to have a lot of silver because I like I prefer silver. I just like silver, but look how that rose gold goes with it so much better. So it's got red in it, or even the blingy gold because it's got gold flecks as well. So I like to kind of have a bit of a stash of stuff like that. It's not like it goes off, is it? Can you imagine? Is anybody else? Oh, log into Add a Comment. I've only got Helen on the website at the moment. I don't know why. I'm sorry if there's anybody else on the website that I haven't seen there. But can you imagine if things went off? Oh, those rings, those D rings are so smelly. Must have had them for years. Hi Karen in NE, Ohio. I don't know what New England. Is that New England? Oh, can you hear that rain? This is when it becomes obvious that I'm in a little wooden studio. Well, it's big. It is big actually. Studio at the bottom of the garden without any soundproofing. So, house sale since January. Oh, Caroline. I'm kind of liking the idea of moving in the summer. The new place has got quite a big garden. Anyway, things are meant to be or they're not, aren't they? Should we make a bag? Oh, sorry. Interfacing. I can't remember who I said I'd get back to, but I'm getting back to you anyway. The interfacing or the fleeces that I use are Valiseline. This one is an H630, which is about 1/8 of an inch in thickness, and it's got a bobbly bit on one side which is fusible, so you can iron that onto the wrong side of your fabric. So for something like cork, may not necessarily need it, but I'm going to use anyway. But with a fabric that would be gathered, I'd use the lighter weight one, which is this one, because it will gather quite nicely. H640 is another Valiseline, and that's a little bit thicker, not a lot, but it's a bit thicker. But both of them, you know, when you think about how that would stand up as a bag, I mean, yes, it's going to be floppy, isn't it? But it gives some sort of rigidity to the bag, as opposed to just a piece of fabric on its own. That's a great alternative, just to add a bit of thickness to it. Pellon do a very similar one. It's not one that I'm too familiar with, but it's the same kind of thing where you fuse it onto the wrong side of your fabric. The reason I like Valiseline is because you can use steam with it and it doesn't wrinkle. I've never had it wrinkle on a fabric. Bose will also do a very similar one, and that's a really good one as well. So those are the two fleeces that I use. The only other one that I use a lot is the Bose foam. So this is thicker, it's still fusible on one side, that's the scratchy side, and it's about a 1/4 of an inch in thickness, and that will give a really nice, I mean, you can see that does stand up on its own, but it's still soft and it's still easy to sew through. Anonymous Amy, yes, that was it, sorry. No problem. This one, sometimes I will trim it back to the seam, sometimes I don't. It depends on the style of bag that I'm making. But that's great if you're making boxes and storage boxes and things like that as well. So those are the three that I use most of all, Amy, so I hope that helps. Right, let's see what we're going to do with these handles. So I'm kind of thinking, and now you're going to realise the way my mind works. So I'm going to make it quite structured, I think, and I want the fabric to go around the end bits and then maybe just a curve here, but that's got to be big enough so that when I open it out I can actually get the handle inside it. I was thinking about just putting a couple of straps over there, but they would become loose, but you could do that if you maybe put a little bit of strong wet glue inside the straps, but I'm just fancying something like that, and then maybe that shape. So not a huge, we could make it really big. And then, so my mind's spinning now, then I'm going to have this fabric on the top, so it'll be a bit like that, and I'm going to make a base out of cork because I just think the two go really well together. Okay, let's do it. Oh, and then the lining is going to be in the contrasting fabric like that. So let's cut the top first of all. So I would maybe do this on paper first of all, really, rather than cutting straight into fabric, but be here all day. It is a down market mug, Sarah. It is a down market mug today, I have to say. It's a Dunelm one, I think, that one. It was actually a prop, but it was the first one that I grabbed when I left the house. Not so posh today. Let's use that Roshi cutter ruler and that. Oops, what was that? That's my foot pedal. Okay. Ruler, cutter. I think it'll be nice, Sherry. I love this fabric. I just thought it went so well with the handle. Right. So first thing, as always, I'm going to chop off the selvage. Got any selvage nonsense? Oh, Alana's been stocking up. Good for you. Those are the kind of things. I don't stock up so much on fabric, to be honest, because I tend to either have a project in mind and find fabric that I want to make the project, or I'll see fabric then think I want to make that project out of it. So I have quite a big turnover of fabric, but I don't stash it, apart from plains. We've got some fantastic plain bundles, loads of them now on the website in all kinds of different colours, and those are really useful, because if I hadn't got the coordinating fabric to go for a lining with this one, I think I'd probably have a cream, and I may have a teal that would go. I've got a canvas in this colour. I don't have a cream, but it's just nice to be able to go straight to a stash, and then, or a collection we're calling it, aren't we, and pull out a colour that matches. So lots of plains, lots of hardware, and lots of interfacing and fleeces and stabilizers in my stash. That's what I do. What do you do? What do you collect? Are you a fabric hoarder just in case? I tend to find when I do that, I end up with lots of, or used to end up with lots of older fabrics that I didn't want to use. I just wanted to use new stuff all the time, so it's been a bit of a waste of money, really. We don't like wasting money. Hello, Tracy. Alexa ask relaxing sounds to play on the tin. Right, so let me trim the top so that it's straight, because they're not always, are they? Right. And I think we'll have this, say, down to there. And that's where I'll put the cork on the bottom. So a little bit wider here, because I need to be able to make a seam. So maybe an inch either side of the handle. I'll tell you what would be an idea if this works, doesn't it? Because they don't always. If I did a pattern for it. I'll wait and see how it turns out, and if it works okay. It will be my hand-drawn pattern, because I'm going to give it to you. In fact, I'll put it with the handles, so you get a free pattern with the handles. No, I won't. I'll just put it as a free pattern, because these are going already, aren't they? So I'm just thinking off the top of my head now. I'm just making things up as I go. Hope Kim's not watching. If it works, I'll do a free pattern, but as I said, it will be a hand-drawn one, because normally with my patterns I pay a designer to digitize them and make them pretty. Right, save you for later. Okay, so I've got that. And hello, Ramal in Sri Lanka, nice to hear from you again. Linda Stashes. And then we're going to have that on the bottom. So I'll have that nice and straight. 2 pieces of that to the same width. I might change the shape of this a little bit when I get going. And turn your ruler around the right way would help. Let's have that 6 inches deep. And then I'll give you the measurements, just in case you wanted to get on with this before I come up with the pattern or not. I've got loads of that left. cork, by the way, if you're, oh, look what I've done. Got the selvage on there. I'll put that in the seam allowance, so not to worry. If you are a member of the Half Yard Club, there will be a video going on the website towards the end of the month on sewing with cork and hints and tips and things like that. Do you do anything with the selvage edges you cut off? Do you know, no, I have done in the past. I did make a ragdoll called Selvage Sally, and she had the whole dress was selvages and her hair was selvages and it was tied up with selvages. And the only thing I've ever done with them really is I was told a few years ago when I showed an interest in having my own range of fabric that I would never have my name on the selvage of a piece of fabric. So I love it when people say things like that, because the first thing I'm going to do. So when I did have my name on the first range of fabric that I created on the selvage, I actually cut them all off and I put them in a frame, because I was so proud of, I've still got it, I was so proud of it. So that's all I've really done. Oh, we're going to be keeping Linda busy. Trace, I just use normal universal needle for cork. It's just fabric. So it has a woven back, and it's very soft and it's very fine. If you're sewing multiple layers, so maybe cork on top of a firmer interfacing, a denim needle may help, but otherwise no, just ordinary an ordinary needle. It's waterproof as well, so you can wipe it clean. Being waterproof means that no steam will penetrate it, so no ironing this one. It can wrinkle sometimes when you put too much heat on it, but you can iron with quite some heat from the back. It's actually a really dream fabric, and of course cork is sustainable. You ever seen a cork tree? Oh, they're ugly. They look like they've got growths all over them. But apparently it's one of the, well, is it the only tree that benefits from having the cork removed from it? Actually does it good, so you're not damaging it by taking the cork off. It's called a cork oak tree. It actually benefits the tree from doing that, and you can carry on doing that. I think it's once a year for 9 years. There's a lot of cork you can get off a tree. Anyway, oh, Zelle's made a couple of cork bags. Karina, iron it from the back. I shall show you, because it's cloth on the back, so it's quite easy to do that. Hello, Peggy in Toronto. She loves the videos. Thank you. Oh, I haven't got my posh board with me. Those black and gold ironing boards are back in stock now, by the way. It's gone a bit curly, but the creases are coming out. I wouldn't use steam, that's the only thing, because again the top bit is waterproof, so your steam won't penetrate through it. You'll just end up with it being a little bit wet. So from the back, creases come out, no problem whatsoever. Let me put that to one side. Bit concerned about the website, because I can only see one comment on there, and we normally get quite a few, so I'm just concerned that I'm missing somebody, because I can only see Helen at the moment. Logged in there. Maybe there's only Helen there, I don't know. Right, let's sew these together. So that and I'll send to Gary, I said I need a bigger table, I need something wider. Got the room. I'll leave that to get in a bit. So I'm knocking things about, just definitely need more space. That went there. That goes there, that goes there. Do you know, I've never smelt it, Zell, does it? It does smell nice, doesn't it? It smells organic. Okay, then we're going to sew. And I rescued my foot pedal. It's a good job they're on a wire. The top and the bottom right sides together. Make sure the fabric's the right way round. Oops, sorry about that. I think we went black for a second. Sunny in Northern Ireland. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Apparently the video is running on the website, but you can't comment. I don't know what's going on there. In fact, I've lost it all together, bear with me. There we go. Where am I? There I am. So right sides together. And I'm just using the edge of the foot as a seam allowance. Pauline, welcome along from South Australia for the very first time. Hopefully it won't be the last time. So literally, so across there. So we've got that. And then we'll do the same with the other side. Oh, Ione, it's the website not taking comments, is it? I'm sorry about that. Oh, I don't know why that's happening, Susan. I don't know why there's a delay. I'm going to blame the weather for that one. We are having a new website built, I may have mentioned before, which is hopefully going to be June when that's ready. It's got a few tweaks to the way that it looks, but it's still very much the same. But hopefully it's going to be working a lot more efficiently. So the guys are working on that at the moment. The red and black with birds. Irene, what's it called? Can you remember? Maybe Kim will know. I don't know if Kim, if you're watching, what's the red and black with birds fabric? And are you going to reorder it? Can't think which one it is. So there's so many fabric. We've got about 500 lines on the website at the moment. Right. And then before I top stitch it, because I do like to top stitch along the seam, right, I'm going to iron it and then put my H630 on the back. So again, I can iron from the back and just press this away from here. Hi, Jeanette. That's better. Things look so much nicer when they've been ironed, don't they? Same with this one. Like so. And then H630. Now, I've done with that, there it is. Now with this, no point in ironing from the front, no point in using steam, but you can kind of just patch your iron on the back of it. You can use steam from the back. I'd just be a little bit careful not to hold it there for too long. But if that's not going to hold, which that's going to take a while to come through, the other alternative is a bit of H640. To be honest, it's not the most important thing that sticks down, because it's going to be sewn into the seams all the way around anyhow. It'll stick to that side okay. And I haven't got any water in my iron at the moment, but it does work better with a little bit of steam, but this is fine for now. Oops. Olive, I've missed your post, but I shall have a look later on. The grey caddies, yes, I think we will be getting these little things. Is it that one? We can get some more of those in stock. I didn't realise we sold out.
Coffee.
Thank you.
Posh mug.
Did you hear?
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'm a bit. Stop doing that. Yes, I was a bit down market with the mug today.
Sunny. Did you tell everybody it was raining?
It was chucking it down with rain a minute ago. We could hear it. Yes, it was. Okay, we'll do this with both pieces. I'll cut that one out so I can iron right up to the edge. Hello, Tracy in South Africa. Oh, thank you very much. It is coffee time. Okay, let's cut this one out. Next, so, oops. I think the website as well is running really behind. I'll be glad when we get the new one. Okay, so just snip that up to the edge because I don't want to put my iron on the fleece because it'll get glue on the bottom of it. There we go, so now I can press right up to the edges. Hi Mary in Colorado. I'll have one of those sewing cafe things one day. It's got to happen sometime, hasn't it? And then Gary can make you all teas and coffees for all day long. Right, same with this one then. So I'll use a bit of spray on the bottom bit, make sure it doesn't go on the sewing machine. And then I'll line the top bit again. Connie, I'm making a bag with the new bamboo handles that have come in this morning. So horse fabric is lovely, isn't it? This, I think this is quite new. This was a new one last week, I think. Right, so again, I'm just going to press the top bit and then I'm just going to top stitch across the fabric there. It seems there are a few pink parcels arriving today, Alana. Thing is, at a sewing cafe, Heather, it's a nice idea, but we wouldn't get any sewing done, would we? We'd just be natter. Susan's got her black and gold ironing mat. Oh, yeah, yes. We have some very posh customers, you know. But yeah, the black and gold. Oh, sorry, I touched the iron. The black and gold mat sold out almost immediately last week. So she's on the ball. Oh, forgot to tell you. I forgot to bring them down. Oh, I hope they're there. We've also got to match because we did last week. We did the black and gold mat and black and gold clips and black and gold tape measures, and now we've got black and gold pumpkin pin cushions, and there's a black and gold magnetic pin cushion, like the magnetic dish on there as well. Forgot about that. So only for the posh though. Hello Craft Angel. Just had a walking foot delivered today. What are you going to do with your walking foot? Your quilting, your curtain making? Day trips to my sewing cafe. We'd have to have a coach park. Oh no, for our customers we need a helipad, of course, and stables. Those are the ones with the black mats. Right, enough of that. So I'm just going to top stitch along the seam because I think it looks nice, and given more time I'd change the colour of my thread to a brown, but I haven't got one. So let's lengthen the stitch slightly and rethread my needle. And again, I'm just using the edge of the foot as a guide. So bear with me a second. Ooh, there we go. And just stitch along here. Deborah's pre-ordered the, oh thank you, book should be coming out the end of June I think, and apparently it is going to launch on Sewing Street, but nobody's told me I can't send the books out as soon as I get them. Ooh, pressing the wrong button now, switching my machine off, trying to read when I'm sewing, that's a thing. Let's just snip that off there. Deborah, did you say when you pre-ordered the book that you wanted it signing? Because I'll forget. So if you do want to pre-order Sew Eco, there's a lot of cork projects in there as well actually, and you want it signing, just leave me a message. You can leave a message when you place your order saying who you want it signing to. I sign them all anyway, but I just put from me, but if you want them signing to somebody specific, then just let me know and I will endeavour to oblige. Karen, yes, I was only saying yesterday actually we need to do some more pattern downloads. The only problem I've got at the moment is time, because I need to design them and then they get sent off to an illustrator basically, and she makes them all nice and pretty and proper and puts the right numbers and logos and all that kind of thing on them, and then come back and then they go on the website. It's literally finding the time to actually come up with the designs at the moment, so that's my problem. It's like with the panels, the fabric panels. I've got so many ideas. I was going to do an advent calendar. I wanted that done by June. It's not going to happen because I'm just so busy. But yes, one day, when I get a break, yes, because I think that's a good idea. Because we get a lot. I had a conversation with, I can't remember your name, sorry, in Australia, saying she wanted the pattern for the Japanese knot bag as a download, which I can't do because it's A5. But I thought that would be so much, because she didn't want to buy it because postage is more than the actual pattern. So yes, I think downloads are such a good idea. On the list, as I'm drinking cold coffee, and I've got a hot one there. Right, so let's figure out how we're doing this then. Again, if you just joined, I know I went and got the selvage included, but I will sew that into the style of the bag. So we could do a competition, Jean, but then I can't sell a pattern that somebody else has designed, can I? I don't mind. I'm going to be starting to put more of the archive projects onto the website, but if it's not something that I've done, I always make sure that anybody gets a credit, and I don't make any money out of what anybody else does. So I wouldn't really want somebody else to. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to make money out of anybody else. So if I'm selling a pattern, then I'd want it to be mine. And I couldn't do them as free downloads unless it's just my scribblings, because I have to pay somebody else to design them. Yes, it is, Karen, isn't it? Postage, and that's not me being greedy or us being greedy. That's just what the post is. Right, need a pen. I wonder if I've got any ink in that one. Yes, I have. Right. So I wanted to do seam allowance, a little scoop like that, didn't I? So I'm just going to draw that roughly, just from the inside, and that will be slightly narrower. No, it won't be wider. Let's do a little bit narrower because the seam allowance. So you can probably hear my brain ticking now. So I want that to go there. So that's going to go right up to the top, of course. Maybe a little bit narrower. I think that'll be fine. And then this is going to sit inside, and that'll be that shape underneath. It might be nice to echo that actually, but then no, we'll just have a small scoop. So let's fold this in half and cut that out. So that's going to go, needs to be a little bit bigger. Do we need to be bigger? 1/2 inch seam allowance. Oh, what am I doing? It needs to be right on the end, doesn't it? Oh, Deborah, I'm doing from here, so the strap just goes on the end. This is what it's like when I am designing bag patterns. I tend to draw an idea on paper first, to be honest, and kind of make a paper bag up, if that makes sense. Not directly onto the fabric that's going to be the finished article. That's better. And that's going to go like that. Yeah, I like that. Should we square the base, or should we do that? I like that shape. Let's do that. Right, cutting that back up again. An ebook of archive patterns without having a friend join the club. Do you know, Alana? I don't know. I shall ask Caroline. Yeah, there is an ebook of patterns from the Half Yard Club that are not available anymore, and it's a giveaway for anybody that introduces a new member to the club. But I shall ask the question. So what I'm doing, I'm going to shape this So I'm going from, I was going to give you measurements, wasn't I? The top of the bag is 8 inches. No, it's not, it's 8.5 inches because I'm a seam allowance. 8.5 by 15. The bottom of the bag is 6 inches by 15. Those straps are 3 inches wide. And I'm going to measure 2 inches from the top to the bottom. And no, let's do 1.5 inches. And that's going to be the shape of my bag. So 1.5 inches from the top to the bottom. That's the shape of my bag. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. Do the same with this one. Takes care of that selvage as well. So 1.5 inches from top to bottom. Probably like a lot of you, we never had rotary cutters, rulers and mats when I learnt how to sew. It makes things so much easier and so much more accurate than cutting with scissors, isn't it? And so much quicker. Then that in there. I'll use this one as a template to cut out that handle. I did use a friction pen on this, so I'm just going to do that to take it away. That's all going to be in the seam allowance, so I'm not too worried about it staining or anything. So match up the seams at the side and we'll draw around here. Sarah hasn't mastered curves and her birthday bear looks like an alien. An alien's quite a nice toy to have. Oh, has anybody made up Daphne the Dragon yet? Haven't seen any pictures. Mind you, haven't looked. We've sold an awful lot of pink spotty and pink glittery fabric, so I'm assuming we're going to have some nice pink sparkly dragons soon. I need 2 lining pieces to the same shape. I'm not going to put any extra pockets or anything like that on this one. So love this fabric, don't you? So I'll chop the selvage off this one. There's very wide selvage for some reason. And again, I'm just using the bag as a template to do that. You could use the cut off as a pocket reed, that is a good idea. So 2 pieces of this I'm cutting. And here. Oh, this is going to look so good. Don't you love that sound? Mind you, I've not done this before, so it might not work, you never know. Sure, I'm sure it'll be fine. Sure it'll be fine. Could have, should have smaller scissors really, shouldn't I? That's it. There we go. And then we'll sew this together, let me think. So the handle's going to go in there, that's got to go there. So that can go together with that. It needs to be, I think we might have to have some binding around it, you know. Else I'm not going to be able to turn it the right side out. Having the same thoughts going through my mind as Japanese knot bags because of the way that the handles are. Unless I bind it, let me think. Unless I did that, could do that. We'll bind it. It could be here for a while, literally making this up as I go along. If you just joined us, that's purely because these handles, literally, what time we're here at 2 o'clock, 20 to 2, these came in. And I said, I just want to use those today. So no idea what I was doing with them, which is why I'm making it up as I go, which is why I'm a bit, ooh, I wonder what happens if you do this. So I'm going to sew across the top of the bag. that one. So we have this, and then we'll do the same with the lining pieces. Yes, you can, Craft Angel, you can use medium weight interfacing, that's not a problem whatsoever. I just use some kind of interfacing with it. I think it'd be too floppy with that, and particularly because you've got the cork, if you're going to use cork, because the cork's going to be heavier than the rest of the bag, so your interfacing kind of balances it out a bit, I think. That's a good idea, Ria. I shall use the contrasting green as the binding. Good idea. See, the cork as binding would be nice, but you can't press it, so that's not going to work. Sunny but overcast in Dorset. It is, it's really quite unbelievable. It is brilliant sunshine out there now. Crazy, it looks like a summer's day. Do you mind if I just have a little bit of coffee? So I'm going to drop my ironing mat. It will need to be bias binding as well. Have I got enough? Might have to cheat a little bit on the binding front. Right, I'm just pressing these seams open. I'm going to press the seams open. There we go. Deborah, this is exactly how I make the patterns. It's, oh, that's a good idea. I'll have a go at that. The Japanese knot bag was the challenging one, but you know, it's so satisfying when you come up with a solution for it. I think I've said before, that's one of the things I like most about sewing isn't the actual sewing, it's the figuring it out. Figuring out how to do something. So this one I'm going to iron from the top. So I'm going to squish the seams open and give it a press. Thanks, Louise. Doesn't always work though. And that's so frustrating, particularly when you know you're making something up in a finished fabric. We will sew these two pieces right sides together. So I'm going to put a few pins in here, so I'm going to match up the seams on the shoulders. So I couldn't see my pin cushion. Actually, I'm going to do it from that side because it looks a bit narrower. I think because I use this one as a pattern for the lining, I've cut the lining a little bit bigger. There we go. Susan's missed a bit due to soffits and barge board. Oh, she's got soffits and barge boards. What's a barge board? No, I'm not doing that at all, am I? I'm not doing that at all. I'm sewing these two pieces. Oh, now let me think. These two, that's right, these two pieces right sides together, and then these two pieces right sides together. Honestly. There was nearly an unpicking job about to happen there. Okay. So up the side. Across the bottom. With the conversation about the patterns and shipping, how do you get your patterns with kits only by joining the club? Kathleen, no, it depends what it is you want. If it does get a little bit confusing, I know. My website is a shop, basically. So if you wanted to order any patterns or kits from the website, then you order from the website. You don't need to be a member of the club to order anything from my website. The Half Yard Club is a completely separate entity, although you will get a discount if you remember off my website, because I think you should do. but if there's any pattern, that we don't do kits on the website, it's purely projects, but there are patterns for them, and for those projects you will need to be a member, but we don't sell kits for them. But it does cross over a bit, because things like the dragon are made with fabrics from the Debbie Shaw Sewing Shop, but the pattern is one of the projects from the Half Yard Club. You don't have to shop with me for the projects on the Half Yard Club. You shop wherever you like. I just happen to have a shop full of fabric, so it seems silly not to use it for the projects. But hopefully that's kind of explained it. So it is two completely separate companies with completely separate staff and completely separate buildings and all that kind of thing. But the things like the Japanese knot bag is from my shop, and the kit is from my shop, so you buy from my shop. You don't need to be a member to do that. Does that make sense? It does get confusing. I get quite a few people, because you can subscribe to my shop, so you get newsletters and things like that, and people trying to log in, putting the wrong numbers in and thinking it's the same thing, and so I know it gets confusing, but I hope that's kind of explained it for you. May showers Suzanne's got in Stuttgart. Ooh. Okay, so lining doesn't need a gap in the bottom, because the gap's going to be around the, well, it's like a neckline, isn't it, around the handles. And back down this side. Beautiful day in Port. It's a beautiful day here now. It's just really weird, just all of a sudden a thunderstorm in the middle of a lovely sunny day. It's quite bizarre. I've got a coffee, Linda. I'll just keep letting it go cold. Right, so that's that. Snip off the corners. Don't really need to on-lining, to be honest, but it's habit. And then we'll do the same with this one, just so right sides together. Oh, Sharon's going to say daughter she hasn't seen since November. Oh, how lovely. I'd love to buy things from you, but I'm going to get patterns as I'm in the US, and shipping I can't do. Oh, right, okay. No, there are a couple of downloadable patterns on my website. I think we've only got 2 for bags, and there's a free one on there as well, but that's it with downloads. I haven't got an awful lot of downloads at the moment. I know, I need to get on with it. Need to sew another day in the week, I think. I think this is going to look really nice. This is going to be so worth it. Shall we square the bottom of the bag as well while we're there? I think that might be an idea. Otherwise it'd be a rather flat bag, wouldn't it? She seems to be going rather slowly today. Must be exhausted. Right, that moved a little bit there, as you can see, so I just need to trim this back a bit. And then we're just going to make this square on the base. So we're going to squish the side and the bottom seam so they meet like that. Push the seams in opposite directions, and I'll sew across about 1 inch from the end. Deirdre, I've got to be a quick sewer. I've got so much on the go at the moment. We're rushing to finish a book that myself and Kim are writing together, which is really exciting because it's the first time I've collaborated with anybody on a book. I've got another collaboration coming up in a couple of years, but that's going to be completely different. But we're a little bit behind. Just chop those corners. We should have had the book finished at the end of April. We're almost there. So I've got a square base. That's right. Is it right? That's right. And then we'll do the same with this one. Have you always been Debbie? Oh no, I'm not really Debbie, I'm Deborah. Shall I tell you the story? When I left school, which was in 1846, I think. No, it's actually 1975. I went to work for an electrical engineering company as a trainee draftswoman, and then a couple of years later I went to work for NatWest, so as a bank clerk. And it seems to be, actually thinking about the story of my life, if somebody tells me I can't do something, then that's exactly what I do. So I had a little bit of a run-in with my bank manager, because at the time, in the 1970s, they could get away with things like that. And when I said that I wanted to go to day release to college and study law for my banking exams, I was told absolutely no way would they waste the bank's resources by sending a woman to college when all you're going to do is to leave and have children one day. So it's just a waste of money. So no, you're not going. Can you imagine that now? So I resigned because I was a stubborn little thing. Couldn't wear trousers to work either. Yes, I handed my notice in. And he said, so what do you think you're going to do now? And I just came up with the most glamorous thing I could think of. And I said, well, I'm going to be a model. And he laughed at me. And he told me that within 6 months, I would be crawling back to him for my job. So guess what I did? So I modelled for many, many years, and that's how I met my photographer husband. The kids used to model when they were younger as well. We used to do Butlins, holiday brochures. We travelled all over the world doing holiday brochures. It was wonderful. So yeah, I spent time in the Caribbean, in America, practically every European country, modelling all kinds of different things. It's an amazing lifestyle. That led to children's ITV. So if you're not aware of what that is, that's I did the links in between the children's programmes. So when the programme's finished, you come back to me, and I had a co-host saying what was coming up next and telling jokes and having a bit of mess around and things like that. That led me to join an acting agency in Manchester, who sent me for an audition for a part in Brookside. I've never acted before in my life, and I thought it was to be an extra, and it wasn't. It was only a small part, but I actually had a part in Brookside. So I did quite a bit of acting after that as well. So yeah, it's been quite unexpected. I was going back to I was telling you my life story there. Where did that come from? You only asked me about my name. But when I first started modelling, my maiden name was Deborah Bagshaw, which actually I'm very proud of, and I wish I'd have stuck it out and kept that name. But the first agent that I went to see said, you'll never get any work with a name like that. We'll shorten it to Debbie Shaw. And that's what happened. But I'm still Deborah at home. Gary calls me Deborah. Debbie's like a work name, if you like, my pseudonym. No, it was Zippy that was in love with me. He wrote me a song and everything. Debbie, 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 I'm in love with you already. Jean worked for a bank in 1977, did you? Yeah, they're very much the same, I think. Very stuffy. That's looking a nice shape, isn't it? But the sewing thing, that was quite unusual as well. I'm just going to put this inside the lining, right sides together. No, I'm not, because I'm putting binding on it. I wonder if I can turn it through if I did that. Would I be able to turn that the right side? No, that wouldn't. I'll cut some binding while we're chatting. What was I talking about? Oh, the sewing. My mum was a dressmaker, so there's always been sewing in the house. There's always been cupboards full of fabric, and she was very generous, as in, go and make yourself some dolls' dresses and stuff like that. So I could have the run of the sewing room, and I loved that. But it was a hobby. It was never anything I took too serious. It was nice to be able to sew when I'd got a house and I wanted to make curtains and things like that. I made my own clothes and all kinds of stuff. I'm cutting 2-inch strips diagonally to make my bind. No, I'm not going to cut them diagonally actually, because I've got the diamond shapes here, so I'm going to make them very slightly not diagonal. And they're 2 inches wide, so that's good, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, so I could sew. But one of my presenting jobs was on 2 inches wide, on a shopping channel that started to sell sewing machines. I'll do it a bit narrow actually, so it fits in with the pattern. And I said to the buyer, rather cheekily, I have to say, I thought that I could demonstrate the sewing machine better than the demonstrator that they had. So I got the job of demonstrating sewing machines, and it just kind of went on from there, really. So yes, quite unexpected from the trainee draftswoman in 1975 to sewing for you lot. Honestly, I don't think I was going to talk about all that today. I thought we were just going to make a bag. Okay, so I'm cutting, they're actually just under 2-inch strips, but that's fine, it's going to work. And I know I've cut far too many. Let me show you. So we have these, that's going to go around the neckline of my bag. Oh, but Bungle was secretly in love with one, was he? That was so nice, actually. Oh, Ruth, boo-boo, Bakewell, honestly. I'm more of a broom cupboard girl. I've still got a bone to pick with Philip Schofield, and if I'd have had more time on this morning, excuse me, last year, I'd have had him about that, because when I was basically I was on ITV and Philip Schofield was on BBC, and kids would obviously get confused about which channel they were watching, so we used to get loads of posts for him, and I assumed he got loads of posts for me because that's what happened. So I used to forward all of my posts to Philip Schofield at the BBC with a nice little letter. Never got a reply, not once. But it was the best couple of years, I think. I loved that job. So much fun. Right, I'm going to join a couple of these together. I don't know, yes, I will need to. So I'm going to overlap these at right angles. I'm trying to match that so it's somewhere near carrying on the pattern. It won't work perfectly, but I'll do my best. And then we'll sew diagonally across. Right, so I did it a few times, Bonnie, actually. Oh look, hey, get that. So that was very well planned, I think. Let's just trim off the edge and then we'll make this into bias binding. I'll warn you, I like to hand sew bias binding. It's going to take me about an hour, but I'm not going to sit here and do all of that. I'll do half of it so you get the gist. I did it I worked for Sky at one point as well. They had Envision Continuity at the time. This is back in the 80s. And I auditioned for it and I didn't get the job. And then when I saw who did get the job, I actually phoned them up and said I could do it better than that. And they gave it to me. It's some poor girl out of work, you know, but yeah, anyway. So I've pressed that little seam open. Let's not do too much of this. Actually, that's not too bad. And then we'll fold it to the centre, into the centre again. So I'm going to kind of lose the design a little bit. Oh, so I don't love all hand sewing. I love invisible sewing. So things like binding, love it. Binding a quilt, oh, better than the quilt. Smocking, love that. Embroidery, not a fan. Don't mind a little bit, but you know. But smockings is a similar kind of thing. It's really time consuming and tiny stitches and everything, but I could spend hours doing that, but embroidery, no. So I'm going to fold this to the centre. Tell you what I could have done. Little border across there with a little piping. That would have looked nice, wouldn't it? Or even that, if the bag was bigger maybe. That would have worked. Kathleen's answering her own question. Didn't see what your question was. No, it won't turn through the handles when you do it like this. That's a bit like the Japanese knot bag situation. There are ways of doing it, but it's too fiddly. I think, you know, this is a little bit more time consuming. Actually, I don't think it's more time consuming. This seems time consuming, but I think it's going to be a lot easier than trying to arrange the pattern so that you can turn it through. Thank you, Susan. Well, I'm getting old now. I've got lots of stories. Right. so that's just going to the centre, like so, and then the same on this one. Could have done maybe with a little bit of breast press on this to hold it in place. It's not creasing too well. This is the way of my world, Susan, winging it. But it's so satisfying when you do something and it works. I think you're right, Kathleen. Because it's not just me that ended up doing this, which is it's quite odd when you think about it. I met Gary when I was modelling. He's a fashion photographer, very well known, very well known fashion photographer. And it's just very strange how we now work together with when you think about my side of it, it's the presenting and the sewing have come together in what I do now, and working with Gary, he doesn't have time for the fashion photography anymore because we just work together. But I wouldn't have thought when we first met all those years ago that we'd do something like this, and now with our daughter working with us as well, it's just very strange the way it all turned out. Alana wanted to be a mechanic. I tell you what, when I was little I wanted to be a bus conductress, and two reasons. My dad was a bus driver, so I thought I'll go and work with my dad, but they had ticket machines, and the sound of the tickets being ripped, I thought I'd spend all day just ripping tickets off, so I'm going to be a bus conductress was my plan. Right. I'm going to fold it in half again, it's going to make it easier to put on. I could write a book, Deborah, but I tend to forget things. I'd probably end up writing something and I think, oh, I missed that out, like the 10 years of my life somewhere. There we go. It's getting hot now. Can you tell things are burning? All right, then I'm just going to sew one side on. Because we've been here for over an hour now, I wasn't expecting to have a long one today. Yeah, but it wasn't. Kate loves those machines as well. The thing is, it wouldn't have been a good career move, would it? Because you don't have them anymore. Oh, Denise knows. Denise said like pop idols. What were your pop idols? Mine was Mark Bolan. My sister was David Cassidy. But I was all about Mark Bolan. And I tell you what, the only reason I can actually remember, my sister's 3.5 years older than me. I normally say 4, and then she messages me. She's 3.5 years older than me, and I can remember her coming into my bedroom saying, "This we called them groups then, didn't we? The groups. This group's written a song about you," and it was T-Rex's Deborah. I thought, oh. I was only little, I'd be about 10. I was written a song about you. So that's when I fell in love with Mark Bolan. Oh, I like Slade as well, Janet. Mark Bolan, I know. Right, so let's put the lining inside here. He was a fashion photographer, Sherry, yes. Again, he did loads of. He used to specialise in lingerie, which I wasn't best pleased about at the time. Or it used to do a lot of swimwear catalogues, which meant travelling all over the world with very glamorous swimwear models. I remember, if he's not listening, I remember him doing a trip to Jamaica, and I was pregnant with Kim at the time, so I'm going back 30 years, and that was for. It was for a calendar, but the girls that he was taking out there were so beautiful and so glamorous, and obviously calendar girl figures and everything, and I was at home pregnant. And I can, you know what you're like when your hormones are all over the place, and I was trying to make him jealous because I was jealous of him going. I can remember saying, some men find pregnant women attractive, you know. Oh, anyway. Hasn't the last 30 years gone quickly? Right, I'm just pinning around the top of this to hold the places together. Oh, Cliff Richard and the Rolling Stones. I met Mick Jagger once. This is going to sound very glamorous as well. I was modelling hosiery for Christian Dior on the island of Mystique when I met Mick Jagger. Ah, there you go. Oh. David Cassidy just seemed like one of those really nice guys, wasn't he? He really wanted to be taken seriously. I read in one of his interviews. Oh, I can remember Millie's Mushroom. Wanted to marry a farmer, which she achieved, and become an accountant. My dad was a CA. Yeah, but apparently it wasn't a job for a woman. So I wanted to learn the drums when I was at school and was told that girls don't play drums. Hello, Julie in Chicago. I did skive off school to go and see Mark Bolan. Oh, I would have been in such big trouble for that. He was a new, and you know, it was in his later years when he maybe had that blonde flash in his hair, not like that. And he started singing Deborah, oh, my song, and he forgot the words. And I was, could never forgive him for that. So I've pinned that around the top, and I'm going to sew that before I put the binding on, just to hold it all together. Actually, before I do anything, I'm going to make sure this handle fits. Oh, it's lovely when a plan comes to work, particularly when we've got 322 people and I can't see how many on YouTube. It's a good job it worked, isn't it? Chartered accountant, that was it. Right. So I'm just sewing not over a pin, close to the edge. Oh, Linda, but of course you passed your test first time because you were a good driver. I can remember when I said to my mum that I was going to leave a very respectable job at NatWest and become a model. She was disgusted. She said, oh, I don't know if I should tell you. Basically, models sleep with photographers. She wasn't wrong, but I was married to one, so that was all right, wasn't it? And not wearing trousers. I mean, can you imagine that when I was at the bank, you could not wear trousers to work? Crazy, isn't it? So just avoiding sewing over my pins, and this is just going to hold it all together before I put the binding on. Susan, my face when the handle fitted was relief. Make it up as you go along in front of everybody isn't such a good idea, is it? 200 on YouTube. Oh, thank you. So that's 505 of you, and whoever's watching on the website that can't leave messages. Not by going on a Wednesday afternoon, is it? Hello from Japan. Oh, what's your name? Not that I'd ever been able to pronounce it, but welcome along. No, oh no, couldn't wear trousers to school. We couldn't even sit next to boys at school. We had one of those, I went to a grammar school with a boys and a girls entrance, and a boys half of the classroom and a girls half of the classroom, and stand up when your teacher walks in kind of schools. It's alright, got me O-levels. Right, almost back to the beginning, and then we'll have the binding on. No, Sylvia, you wouldn't wear trousers nursing. Right, binding on my knee. This is going to look so nice. Let's chop this off so that it's straight. And again, I'm not going to, I'll sew this half of the binding on, or shall we? No, do you know, I'm going to machine sew it. No, I don't normally do that because I like hand sewing. So I'm going to sew it from the inside. This is where it may go wrong because I'm not too good at doing this. I'd rather spend the time hand sewing it to finishing it off. Refused to take architecture classes in school. Anything else that would lead me in the design direction I wanted to go. My mum haggled me for years to cut my hair and stop jogging because I was American. my mum said for years, when are you going to get a proper job? I remember that. And she was mortified when I carried on working after we had children. Because she didn't, when you had kids you stopped working, didn't you? That was it. Never did get a proper job. Right, so right sides together, and I've folded over the end of the binding, and I'm just sewing along the first crease line that I made. So ideally it would be cut on the bias. This wasn't quite bias. Hello Aurora. I'm very good, thank you. So over the top of the handle. It's a bit fiddly around there, but it's fine. Oh, by the way, if you entered on the prize draw on Instagram, we have picked out the winners. Kim got one of those name generators and picked out 12 winners. And I've printed off all of your addresses and everything, just haven't got around to packing things up yet. So your prizes should be with you soon if you've won. Congratulations. Thank you, Esty. Most of those are half-yard projects actually, because I didn't have time to change my set for today. Hello Aurora, nice to see you back again. Oh, it is reversible. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's a reversible bag. Well spotted, Helen. Just taking my time over the straps because there's not much room to manoeuvre around there. I'll show you again in just a sec what we're doing. Oh, Linda, you went to a very posh school then. So I'll get back to the beginning again. So I'm just going to cut that so that it overlaps a bit. Right, so John. So I've got that, and I've sewn it from the inside of my reversible bag. A pinafore and bow. So well, we knew that Cher would go to a posh school. She's Cher after all. That goes there. That goes there. And then I'm going to fold this over to the right side and sew from the top. This is where I normally hand sew, but I do it the other way around, so I'm folding this over to the wrong side, but I'm going to top stitch it. So I'd rather do that from the right side so I can see that my stitches are straight. So let's start at the back. That's it. Okay, so I'll try and keep this as neat as I can. What have I done with that? Oh, I have a feeling I've run out of thread at the bottom. Oh, do bear with me, that was a full bobbin. I wondered why I hadn't sewn it, and it's because I hadn't got any thread. And I haven't got one wound up, so bear with me while I just do this. Susan, the 10% discount code, it's because it's on the new website. if you go to about me, you'll see it there. I think it's on the right hand side of the screen. It's quite big. No, I wasn't allowed to do woodwork and technical drawing. I would have much preferred that to sewing and cookery, to be honest. And in fact, I did drop sewing at school, didn't like the teacher, and did pottery instead. I've got a pottery O level, you know. I haven't got anything in sewing. There was an awful lot from speaking to you as well of people who were put off sewing at school because of the racks on the backs of the knuckles when you didn't make your stitches small enough, or it's a bit harsh in those days, wasn't it? I was put off cookery because I got told off for putting tea leaves down the sink, and it wasn't me. That will do. And I wanted to go to catering college, so that paid to that. Okay, so I'll just finish off that bit, the bit that I missed where I ran out of thread. Thankfully it wasn't too much. And then we'll get on with the job of the top stitching. Right, here we go. Okay, so, I've covered up my equipment. So I was starting at the back, wasn't I? So let's fold that over. And over again. Then. So where this bit overlaps, I want to make that as neat as I can. Obviously. So you go there, open you out. Sorry, bear with me while I do this. I just want that to be really neat. So that goes over there, and that goes over there, and you get tucked in there. I never talk to my sewing when it's not going where I want it to go, and that isn't at the moment. Come on, binding, you know you won't win. Bear with me while I sort this out, because the fold isn't going where I want it to go. Get my tweezers out, couldn't I? There. Okay, now we can carry on. Having no nonsense from this binding. Since it hasn't got an awful lot of give in it because it's not true bias, but kind of working. It's just puckering a little bit, which is why we like bias binding. Oh, well, Lana, I'd love to have made a table and done woodwork at school. Mind you, my dad had all of the stuff at home, so I could get the saw out and make my own rocking horse if I wanted to, which I did. Come on, over you go. Do you know, I think, to be honest, I'm going to do this now, and it is puckering a little bit, and I don't like that. So I'm going to unpick it. In fact, I'm not even going to finish it, because that's puckering, and I don't like that puckering when I go around there. So I'm going to actually unpick this, and I'm going to sew it by hand like I would have done in the first place. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. But that's kind of how it's going to look. If I had to use the unpicker in time, a wrap over the knuckles with a wooden ruler. See, I never did that because I just didn't do the sewing. Oh, I learned to iron men's shirts in sewing at school. How inappropriate. Imagine these days having to do that. Right, I'm not going to unpick it now, but I shall unpick it in just a second. I just want to show you again how that's going to look when it's done. So that's going to wrap over, and it's going to be a lot easier to hand sew, that I've decided. And I shall put a picture up when it's all finished as well Actually, I've only used one handle, haven't I? See, that's what happens when you make things up as you go along. You get two handles if you're going to buy them, so you could actually make two of those bags. Could put a magnetic snap on there as well. Now, the idea was to make a bag with two handles, but I don't know how it happened like that, but it's kind of worked, isn't it? So you can make two bags instead of one. Bonus. Okay then, I'll just have a look on the website again, see if anybody's actually arrived there. Where are you? Nope, still only Helen. But well, thanks Helen for your comment anyway. So that there, you go there. My PC is running rather slowly at the moment. That goes over there. Are we up to date? Drop on the knuckles for talking, it wasn't me. You don't get apologies either, do you? I think it's a very nice one-handle bag. I think that is a one-handle bag that I would actually use, and you can still get in it and everything. There's plenty of space in there, and that's a good size too. So would you like a pattern as a free download on the website? Because I can draw that up really, really simply. It won't be instructions, so you'll have to watch back through the video here to see how to make it up and how to finish it properly with proper bias binding. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the website, Sonia. I don't know why you can't say anything on there. Patricia's making a cow applique cushion. Oh, thanks, Amy. I'm glad you've had a nice time. Hi, Bob. It's not raining now then. Okay, then I shall see you again on Saturday morning. At 11 o'clock, if you'd like to join me then. I shall be on Facebook and YouTube on Saturday morning. Website next week, hopefully. Should I make that with two handles? So mine's going again now. I'm trying to figure out how to make that with two handles. For showing the pattern. Okay, then I'll get on with that. Might be a couple of days. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Oh, you've disappeared. And where are you? Sorry, your message has gone. Somebody just said, how are you? But I can't find the message. Oh, thank you. Yeah, hopefully we'll be back again next week here on the website as well. So website, YouTube and Facebook all at the same time. So it's been nice to have your company this afternoon. Hopefully your weather's as good as it looks out here at the moment now. So it's gloriously sunny but rather wet. It's rather strange. I shall see you again on Saturday. So do take care and keep up the sewing. Let me know what you're doing and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.